Hey y'all, it's Shanice. If you're new here, welcome. I'm an astrologer, and in today's episode, I will be talking about Saturn in Pisces. So, Saturn has been in Pisces since 2023. I'm going to be talking about this transit in two different ways. So, the first is what it's been like collectively, like the big themes we've all been swimming in. And the second is how it connects to my personal story. Kind of a sequel to my YouTube video that I posted in 2024, kind of talking about this transit and how it's been showing up for me personally. At the end of this episode, I'm going to transition into what's next because we're entering a new era with Saturn and Neptune both entering Aries, and that energy is very different. So, Saturn in Pisces has been one of the most confusing and exhausting energies to live through, collectively and personally. And if you felt burnt out, spiritually tired, emotionally porous, or just done with people's noise, this episode is for you. Saturn in Pisces, in simple terms, Saturn is structure, boundaries, reality checks, discipline, and consequences. Pisces is sensitivity, spirituality, imagination, fog, escapism, and compassion. So when Saturn is in Pisces, the big lessons become: can you stay compassionate without losing yourself? Can you be spiritual without being delusional? Can you be sensitive without being easily manipulated or drained? So collectively, Saturn in Pisces has been loud with burnout, like people feeling tired in a way sleep doesn't fix all the time. People feeling overstimulated, emotionally flooded, drained by constant access to like news, trauma, opinions, trends, everybody's feelings, and everybody's emergencies. It's like the world has been asking us to care about everything at once. And Pisces, this energy will definitely try. It's like that savior type of energy. Pisces will try to hold it all. I'd like to think of Pisces as the emotional container. Saturn comes in like, you can't hold all of that. So, what are you responsible for and what are you not responsible for? Saturn in Pisces said, if you don't have boundaries, you will leak. Another huge collective theme is spiritual confusion. And I'm not saying that to be shady or anything. I'm saying it because this has been an era where spirituality became mainstream in a way that's both beautiful and messy. We've seen people craving reassurance, people wanting something or someone to tell them that they're special, people wanting a spiritual identity without responsibility, people confusing obsession with intuition, and people confusing anxiety with downloads. And I get it. I understand why people want certainty, and I also understand why people want to feel protected. But Saturn in Pisces has been teaching us discernment over fantasy. It's asking us, like, is this real? Is this helpful? Is this grounded? Is this sustainable? Discernment does not equal fantasy, and intuition does not equal anxiety. This is an era where a lot of people learned that boundaries aren't mean, they're not cold, and they're not a lack of love. Boundaries are what make our love safe. It's like a container for the love that we have. And boundaries are what makes spirituality safe. It's what we keep from over giving or giving away too much of yourself. So Saturn in Pisces is the lesson of your compassion needs a container. So if you've watched my video from Crossroads to Clarity on YouTube, you already know how I talked about my childhood, isolation, and how I've always been intuitive, but I didn't always feel safe being that way. I talked about being gaslit, being told that I was crazy, being misunderstood in relationships, I talked about how isolation practically or basically shaped me. It's also what strengthened my intuition, but also it made me feel really, really lonely. So, one of the biggest things that I've learned since Saturn has been in Pisces is my gift wasn't gone. It was just my nervous system had been overloaded. Because when you're sensitive, when you're intuitive, or your body is a part of the whole process, like your mind is a part of that process. Your emotional health is also a part of that process. And if you're constantly stressed, constantly proving yourself, constantly defending yourself, constantly absorbing other people, you can't really hear the signal that your body, your intuition, your mind is all signaling towards you or signaling to you. And honestly, that's something that I had to learn while Saturn was in Pisces. I had to learn the difference between intuition and hypervigilance. I also mentioned in the first video that in 2022 I had a nervous breakdown, and that period completely changed me. I was dealing with family stress, relationship stress, and my whole life felt like it was collapsing. And it wasn't just emotional, it was physical, mental, and I also felt ungrounded and disconnected. And I think that's a big Saturn and Pisces lesson for me. And I don't know if that's a lesson for other people too, but the lesson is sometimes the spiritual disconnect isn't spiritual at all. Sometimes it's your body saying enough is enough, and your nervous system saying I need safety. And that's something that my body and my nervous system was screaming to me this entire transit. So I'm going to kind of talk about why I stepped back from doing readings and what I'm choosing instead of that. So this is where I want to be like really, really clear, because I know people always ask me about readings, even when I go out and tell people that I'm an astrologer, but I'm not focused on offering readings the way that I used to. And it's not because I don't believe in my gifts, it's because I'm choosing sustainability. My gifts don't work like a vending machine, and it's not on demand. And that's kind of what I mentioned in the video on YouTube. And I don't want my spirituality to become a performance. So right now I'm choosing YouTube and my podcast as a main way of sharing astrology and spiritual insight, because that lets me show up in a way that's grounded and healthy for me. So my boundary with Saturn and Pisces is no readings for now. I don't know how things will show up or manifest in the long term, but for now, absolutely no readings. And my focus is YouTube and my podcast. And I also have like some social media boundaries. I'm going to say something else that might be relatable to other people and what they've been noticing with this Saturn and Pisces transit. I've been thinking about getting off of social media for a while, not because I hate people, it's just because I'm honestly just drained. Those apps are designed to keep you emotionally activated. And I'm at a point where I want real life. Like, I want to, you know, build my bakery, my garden, my routines. I want to build a life that supports my sensitivity instead of exploiting it. And I feel like my peace is worth way more than engagement and likes and going viral. And here's the part I'm actually excited about, because I'm not just leaving something, I'm building something. I'm sowing seeds right now. I'm looking into like beekeeping and community gardens. I'm researching land and homes because I want the future, or my future environment, to feel healing, not only for myself, but for my audience and like my loved ones. And I want to use my garden and honey for my bakery. That's all not random. That's me choosing a spiritual life that's practical and grounded for me. And I don't know how this might show up for you, but you can reflect and think about what's been draining you while Saturn has been in Pisces, and how you can create a container for your own safety, for your own emotional safety, and also this burnout that most of us have been feeling with this transit. So this is why Saturn in Pisces matters. Collectively, it's been a lesson in discernment, boundaries, compassion, fatigue, spiritual maturity, and personally, for me, it's been a lesson in how I protect my energy and build structure for my sensitivity. But we are all shifting. Me, you, all of us are shifting into a new era soon. Neptune moving into Aries changes the vibe from feel everything to act on what's true. Aries is a very honest sign. And Saturn moving into Aries changes the lessons from clean up your spiritual boundaries to build yourself. It's a very selfish sign. It's self-motivated. Aries is about identity and courage, action, and new beginnings. So if Saturn in Pisces taught me to stop leaking energy, Saturn in Aries is going to teach me to commit to myself, my body, my discipline, and my real life. So this might show up for you. This next era with Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries, will ask you to reflect and get more serious about your identity, the way that you take action, and how you discipline your action around your goals. So in my next video, I'm going to, not video, in my next podcast, I was originally supposed to record this video for on camera, but I was having some technical difficulties. So in my next episode, I'm going to talk about Saturn and Aries collectively and potentially personally. I don't know, especially because I'm an Aries rising, I'm not sure yet. But we're going to talk about boundaries that actually stick, discipline without self punishment, choosing real life over online performance, and what it looks like to build a life that matches who you say you are. Because that's what this next Aries chapter is going to be about. If you've made it this far, I really, really thank you for being here. I want you to comment, what has Saturn in Pisces been teaching you? Has it been burnout, boundaries, discernment, spiritual clarity? And if you want the Saturn in Aries sequel, make sure you subscribe because that episode is coming next. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.